there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupavahini Channel I. I'm Sharon Mascrenius.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines. Schools reopen after 115 days, paying adherence to health and safety guidelines. The President is to provide speedy solutions to the issues faced by people of Puttalam. Voting time of the parliamentary elections extended by an hour. The Premier states that no development took place under the UNP government. UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe says the citizens of the country need to cast their vote, taking into consideration the economy of the home front. And we move on to the stories in detail. Paying adherence to health and safety guidelines, schools reopened today after remaining closed for 115 days due to the spread of COVID-19. Students of grades 5, 11 and 13 attended school today. Minister of Education Dallas Alahaperuma conducted an observation on several schools in the Mathura town today. The minister arrived at the Mathura Vellamadima Mahinda Rajapaksa Vidyalaya and spoke to the students. Thereafter, he visited the Mathura Sujatha Girls School and observed the preparations of the students facing the scholarship examination this year. Minister Dallas Alahaperuma said that all schools have been educated on the important aspects such as children's health organization activities and the school's teaching activities and illnesses of students reported while in class. He further stated that 200 groups are inspecting schools in this manner, and so far an unhealthy environment has not been reported from any school. A media briefing was also held at the Education Ministry on the reopening of schools today. Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Ranjit Chandrasekhar, stated that at this stage, only grades 5, 11 and 13 need to recommence classes. He further stated that the students of other grades will not be summoned to school over the next 2 weeks, and the school principals have been instructed in this regard. He added that the teachers have not been tasked with any duties, need not be summoned to schools.
රාජකාරී කටයුත්තක් නැති ගුරුවරයෙක් පාසල් වලට කැඳවීම අවශ්‍ය වන්නේ නැහැ. සීලම ගුරුවරුන් මේ පාසල රැඳී සිටීම අත්‍යවශ්‍ය වන්නේ නැහැ.
The Minister of Education has decided on reopening schools under 4 stages. The second stage is currently underway. Under the third stage of reopening schools, grades 10 and 12 will recommence classes on the 20th of July. On the 27th of July, under the stage 4, schools will be reopened for grades 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Students of grade 1 and 2 will commence classes on the 10th of August.
You're watching the news on Rupavahini and we're still on local news. The third stage of the series of rallies that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is attending to ensure victory for the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held throughout today, centred in the Puttalam district. Today's first rally was held at the DM Dasanayaka Stadium at Anamanuwa to promote the election campaign of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna candidate Sanath Nishanta. The residents of the area informed the president of the human-elephant conflict they face. They pointed out that if the tanks of Vilpattu are reconstructed, elephants would not wander about in this way. They told the president that around 300 elephants cross between Nikavaratiya and Anamaduwa. They requested the president to resolve this issue. Thereafter, the president participated in a rally organized in the premises of the Anamaduwa Weekly Fair. The residents of the area informed the president of the flood threat faced by them, and the president instructed the relevant officials to take measures to rectify the issue. The president also stated that a permanent solution will be given to the human-elephant conflict. The rally was organized to promote the campaign of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna candidate Priyankara Jayaratna. The president also joined in a rally organized at Royal Gardens in Puttalam. The president instructed the relevant officials of reconstruct the bridge at the Eluwankulama entrance to the Vilpattu Park. He also instructed officials to take speedy steps with regard to the Senakudiripu village, which faces a ground subsidence risk. The rally was organized to promote the campaign of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna candidate Chintakamaya Dunne. A rally was also organized at the Madurankulama junction in Puttalam to promote the campaign of Mr. M. Riaz. The president engaged in a cordial discussion with the people gathered at the rally and focused on their difficulties. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa also joined in a rally organized at Manava area in Chilau. The rally was organized to promote the campaign of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna candidate Sanat Nishanta. Thereafter, the president attended a rally organized opposite Dhammisara Vidyalaya in Nathandiya. The rally was organized to promote the election campaign of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna candidate Ashoka Priyantha. The rally was also attended by Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna candidate Arundika Fernando. The time period for voting at the forthcoming parliamentary elections to be held on the 5th of August has been revised. This decision was taken at a discussion of the Elections Commission held in Colombo today. Previously, voting was to end at 4 p.m. However, now voting time has been extended to 5 p.m. Thereby, on the 5th of August, voting will take place from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Total of 149 COVID-19 patients is under medical care in hospitals across the country thus far. Meanwhile, a tally of 1,917 infected patients have fully recovered from the respiratory disease in the country. One COVID-19 patient was detected from the country today, and the patients have been identified as a returnee from the Maldives. In the meantime, 885 out of 904 Sri Lanka Navy personnel have fully recovered from the disease thus far, and a percentage of the recovered cases of Sri Lanka Navy stands at 97.89%. A total of 1,917 patients have fully recovered from the respiratory disease in the country, which stands at 92.29%. Only 149 COVID-19 patients are receiving treatment at present. Permission has been granted to allow 5 visitors per passenger to accompany into the departure terminal of the Bandaranaike International Airport from today onwards. Meanwhile, passengers deprived of the opportunity to purchase duty-free goods and directed to quarantine upon arrival will be allowed to visit the stores at the airport's arrivals duty-free complex and purchase goods. Passengers arrived during the period from March 9 to May 31st. Will be provided the opportunity. A group of Sri Lankans stranded in Ethiopia and Qatar, unable to return to the country due to the COVID-19 outbreak, was brought back to the country. A group of 154 residents of Jintupitia, directed to the Kandakadu Quarantine Center, was released to return to their respective residencies. They were released after ensuring that the residents of the same area identified as a COVID-19 patient was tested negative. However, they were directed to PCR tests prior to the release from the quarantine center. Well, leader of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, says that no development process took place during the UNP government. He says that, therefore, that party has no right to seek a mandate to rule the country again. The Premier expressed these views at a rally held at Ambalanthora yesterday. Upon arriving at the rally, the Premier reportedly received a warm welcome from the people of the area.
ඒ විනෝදංශ හොඳයි. නෝ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයට වැඩ කරන්නත් එපා. ඊයේ මගේ ගාවට එක්කාවා තරුණයෙක්. ඒ තරුණයෝ ඇවිල්ලා කිව්වා අපි වරද්දක් කරගත්තා. ගමේ මිනිහා අතහැරලා පිට මිනිහෙක් ගෙනාව වදාගත්තයි කිව්වා. කිව්ව දාලා ගිහිල්ලා අපිට දැන් හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් කිව්වා. අපිට යන්න දැන
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that the district was developing at a high pace, but under the UNP government, the development slowed down. The Premier stated that former Minister Sajith Premadasa was not concerned at all, and all that he did was watching wildlife at Yala, since that was his hobby. The Premier further stated that he needs two-thirds majority. He alleged that in these areas, except for the work his government performed, no work plan was carried out during the UNP government. He says that the UNP is in two factions and there is no proper leader, so they are fighting to conquer Sirikota.
දැන් සජිත් මහත්තයාට අල්ල ගන්න ඕන කියලා ඒ දෙන්න සටනේ දැන්. සිරිකොත අල්ලන්න. ඇයි මහජනයා මෙච්චර දඟලන්නේ? ආසනේ. වැඩක් නැහැ. ජනාධිපතිවරයා එකපක්ෂයක ඉඳලා අගමැතිවරයා තාපක්ෂයක හිටියොත් වැඩක් කෙරෙයිද? කෙරෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි පෞගිය කාලේ දැක්කනේ සිරිසේන එකක් කියනකොට රනිල් එකක් කියනවා. සිරිසේන ජනාධිපතිවරයාත් රනිල් අගමැතිවරයාත් දෙන්න දෙපැත්තට ගැටුණා.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa stated that when the President goes in one direction, the Prime Minister goes in another direction, no work is done. The Premier further stated that the former President invited him to form a government, but he had only 50 to 60 parliamentarians supporting him, and the opposition did not give the leadership. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa pointed out that he accepted the role of the Prime Minister back then for the shortest period of time, knowing that he will receive the position of the opposition leader, and that led to the presidential election victory.
විපක්ෂ නායක වෙලා මම දන්නවා ඊළඟට කරන්න ඕන වැඩේ මොකද්ද ජනාධිපතිවරයා මැතිවරණේ ජයග්‍රහණය කෙරෙව්වා ඒ ළඟට පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණය අපි ජයග්‍රහණය කරනවා ඒ සඳහා අපි දැන් සූදානම් මොකද ජනාධිපතිවරයාත් අගමැතිවරයා ඇතුළු කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවත් එක පැත්තක තියෙන්න ඕන කොටාබේ රාජපක්ෂ මහත්මයා තමුන්නාන්සලා දිනෙව්වා දැන් අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ එතුමාට සහයෝගය දක්වන පාර්ලිමේන්තුව.
Another rally was held at the Lunugambehera Pradesh Sabha Hall yesterday, which was attended by Minister Chamal Rajapaksa and candidates contesting general election.
නිකම විකුණයි කියලා හිතුවද නෑ ඇමතිවරු වෙනස් කරලා තමයි විකිකේ ඒක ඇමතිවරයෙක් එක්තරා සමාගමක් ගැන බලාපොරොත්තු තිබුණා ඒක හින්දා ඒකට විරුද්ධ වුණා ඊළඟ ඒකට අනිත් කට්ටිය එක්ක වුණා එක්ක වෙලා එයාලට ලබා දුන්නා තුනම අවුරුදු දෙකක් කියන්නේ කීයද අවුරුදු 200ක් කිට්ටුයි අවසානයේ ඔය වැඩ ඉවර වෙනකොට අවුරුදු 200 200කට පස්සේ තමයි ඉපදෙන දරුවෝ තමයි ඔය ගැන අවසාන තීන්දුව ගන්න වෙන්නේ අනාගතයේදී කොළඹ නගරය මමත් චීන ජනාධිපතිවරයාත් අපි දෙන්න මුල් කරලා තිබුණේ ඒක අවුරුදු දෙකක් ප්‍රමාද කරා නවත්තලා තිබුණ සම්පූර්ණ වැඩ රටේ ඒකත් අවුරුදු 200කට ඒක දීලා අපේ කාලේ අපිට වෙන් කරගත්ත ඉඩම් කෑල්ල.
The Premier also joined in a gathering of activists at Madamulana. A rally was also held today in the Veerakhettiya area under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. At the rally, the Premier questioned as to whether the independent commissions are actually independent. The Premier stated that he will take steps to establish independent commissions of a superior quality.
මේ ඉපදෙන හැම දරුවෙකුටම අයිති භූමිය මෙච්චරයි තියෙන්නේ. මේ භූමිය විකුණලා දැම්මම මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපේ ආණ්ඩුව විතරයි මූදක් ගොඩ කරලා භූමියක් හදලා දීලා තියෙන්නේ. පළවෙනි වතාවට ලංකාවේ මැප් එකක් වෙනස් කරන්න අපිට පුළුවන් වුණා. ඉතින් අපි කරන්න පුළුවන් වැඩ කරා.
Leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, says this time the citizens of the country need to cast their vote, taking into consideration the economy of the home front. The UMP leader made this observation joining in a rally to ensure the victory of the United National Party held at Dehiwala today.
මේ රට ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්න ගෙදර ආර්ථිකය ඇති කරන්න රැකියාපව ලබා දෙන්න
Leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, said there is only one channel through which employment opportunities can be generated and the economy can be reformed to take the country forward, and that channel is the United National Party. UMP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe pointed out that during World War II, then Prime Minister of Ceylon, D.S. Nanayaka, protected the country and in the post-independent period uplifted agriculture. The UMP leader also called to mind how the fallen economy was transformed into an open economy during the term of the UMP from 1977, in which industrial development was achieved. He emphasized that no other political party has this confidence that the United National Party has.
තමන්ගේ ගෙදර ආර්ථිකය ගැන හිතන්න. ඒ ගෙදර ආර්ථිකය කාටද බේර ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා ඒ පක්ෂයට ඡන්දෙ දෙන්න.
A UMP meeting of the Kasbah electorate was held yesterday at the residence of the former parliamentarian Srinath Dimel. Addressing the meeting, UMP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe stated that $6,000 million needed for the country will be first financed, and he pledged that the repayments will be long-term, spreading beyond 3 to 4 years, which will enable the strengthening of the economy.
State universities that remained closed due to the spread of COVID-19 virus were permitted to recommence academic activities with effect from today upon the approval of the Vice-Chancellors and with adherence to health guidelines. This decision was announced at a media briefing held at the Department of Government Information today. Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, stated that if universities were able to complete the 4th year of their students by the 22nd of June, they had been given the permission to decide on reopening universities for the students in the lower years of study from today. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that statements alleging that tax concessions granted to senior citizens have been scrapped are totally false. Minister said that in the previous system, upon income earned on request, on interest, up to 1.5 million rupees was exempted from income tax. However, under the Finance Minister, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa's tax concession package, up to 3 million rupees of income earned on interest is exempted from tax. The minister further stated that it was a policy decision of the government to maintain interest rates at single digits in order to manage this variant when building the country. Therefore, he stated that although a certain level of difficulty could be experienced temporarily, in the long term, if other costs decrease, the benefit will be enjoyed by the people.
The defense units state that steps have been taken to seek a report from the government analysts into the incident in which a homemade bomb had exploded whilst it was being assembled by a rehabilitated LTTE member. This was at his residence at Iyakachi in Kilinochchi. The individual who sustained injuries in the explosion, which occurred on the 4th of this month, has been transferred to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital. The initial investigations have revealed that this former LTTE member had attempted to assemble bombs using a tin and several plastic containers. The security units discovered 2 such assembled bombs that had been thrown into a pit in the garden after exploding, and several other items including a banner which read "Celebrate Black Tiger Day." The army states that the government analyst report will show whether there are similarities between these bombs and the bombs exploded on Easter Sunday last year. The suspect's wife, who works as a teacher, has been arrested, and after the incident, several houses in the area were inspected by the police and the army. The Palai Police and the Terrorism Investigation Division are conducting investigation with the army. The suspicious individual who had entered a Catholic church at Pesalai, Manna, was arrested by the Jaffna police and after being found behaving suspiciously at the St. Anthony's Church, Jaffna. After the individual was spotted at the Pesalai church at Manna, investigations were launched after informing all police stations in the northern province. A member of the church congregation had seen the suspicious individual arriving in church premises with a bag and turning back. The member of the alerted My apologies, the member had alerted the parish priest, after which the police were informed. The individual was seen behaving in a suspicious manner on CCTV footage. Fraud Investigation Division of the police in the Western Province have arrested within 24 hours 57 suspects alleged to have defrauded around 110 million rupees. These arrests were made pertaining to complaints received by the divisions. The suspects include 9 women. These suspects have revealed to have been involved in around 70 crimes, including financial frauds, financial breach of trust and polygamy. The value of these crimes resolved as a result of the arrest in 108,470,356 rupees.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Professor J.L. Peri, states that steps will be taken to hold the Provincial Council's election before the 31st of December this year. While speaking at a media briefing this morning, Professor J.L. Peri stated that they have decided to hold the Provincial Council election before the end of this year. He says that the Provincial Council election had not been held for the last 2 years and it is a violation of the Constitution. Professor Peri states that there are 36 duties of the Provincial Councils that directly impact day-to-day public life, and the public now do not receive this service. Professor Peri states that the reason for this postponement was because of the Yahapalana regime and was not willing to face the Provincial Council election, knowing that they would lose. Professor Peri noted that during the government of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, elections were held even before the due election date. Well, a rally of the National People's Power was held, headed by its leader, former parliamentarian Anurukumar Dissanayake, at Hokandara recently. Leader of the National People's Power, former parliamentarian Anurukumar Dissanayake, observed that the word Parliament is placed before the people, all they imagine is bees, individuals with big bellies. He charged that in days gone by, criminals used to abscond in forests, but now they are all in Parliament. A rally of the Samagit Janbala Wege was held at the Pasyala area in Merigama today, or rather yesterday. Addressing the rally, former parliamentarian Harshana Rajakarna said that for the past 26 years, they have not had a president from their party. Therefore, they can be content of having a massive support after such a lapse of time. He advised the voters not to mix up the symbols on the ballot paper and precisely vote for the telephone.
A discussion was held at the Ministry of Health this morning with departments of heads of parliamentary complex on the measures to be taken to conduct proceedings of the new parliament whilst adhering to health and safety guidelines. At the discussion, Parliamentary Secretary General Dhammika Dassanayake stated that, as per standing orders, after the parliamentary election on the day of the first sitting of the House, the election of the new Speaker and the swearing-in of the new members of the Parliament takes place. Therefore, it is necessary for all parliamentarians to be present in the chamber. He further stated that thereafter, the parliamentarians can decide on the manner in which future sessions should be conducted. As adherence to health guidelines need to be practiced since the first parliamentary sitting at the discussion, it was stated that awareness will be raised amongst the staff and meetings will be held through video conferencing. Booklets setting out guidelines on the control of the COVID-19 virus were also handed over to the Parliament today.
We end the news on an entertaining note. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care and good night.